Hello dear students. As you all know, we are doing chapter number 6, electromagnetic induction, and we have done 3 parts of the lecture series. In the first part we have studied what is electromagnetic induction, Faraday law and Lenz law. In the second part we studied about motional EMF, and the third part we have studied about self-induction. Let us start today. Today's topic is mutual induction. If you have not seen the previous lectures of this chapter, there is no use watching this lecture, because you will not be able to understand anything. You have to watch all the lectures which I have posted on YouTube, which I have uploaded on YouTube. You have to go through all the lectures of this chapter to understand this topic. What is mutual induction? Before that, let me give you a quick revision of self-induction, because this is very much related to that. What we have studied, if a coil is there and a current is flowing through the coil, and somehow with some arrangement this current is changing. Suppose we have applied a rheostat over here, and this current is changed by that rheostat, then what will happen? Due to this changing current, there is an EMF induced in the coil, because this magnetic field surely produce this current surely produce magnetic field, or we can say magnetic flux passing through the coil, right? Magnetic flux passing through the coil. And if this current changes, then this magnetic flux also changes. And when magnetic flux changes, EMF will be induced. I have told you, if you remember, that if that this is called prime current, right? Or original current, you can say. If this I is increasing at a particular moment, in that case induced current will be opposite to I. And if this I is decreasing, then the induced current will be in the direction of I. Right? When I is increasing, induced current opposite to I. When I is decreasing, induced current in the direction of I. Because we have to oppose the increase and we have to support the decrease. Okay? That we have studied. This is called self-induction. Why? Because EMF is induced because of its own magnetic field. Same manner mutual induction is also there, but here one case is there, and that case is we have not two coils. One coil will be called as primary coil. We have not studied this now. This is the source of AC. Let me remove it. Let us have a cell and a tapping key and a cell and an inductor. Another inductor is kept very near to it, and in this one deflection, one galvanometer is there. This is your galvanometer, right? What we see, if we just switch on this circuit, then what we see, there is a momentarily deflection in the galvanometer, and then after that deflection, the galvanometer deflection becomes zero. When we switch off this, then also there is a deflection in the galvanometer, but this time the deflection produced is just opposite to the previous one. When we switch on, there is a momentarily deflection, and then after deflection becomes zero. When we switch off the circuit, then also there is a momentarily deflection. The deflection during switching off was opposite to the deflection during switching on. Okay, so this is what we call mutual induction. Why is it so? Because this coil has not any source, but some of the magnetic field of primary coil will be linked with the secondary coil, and therefore when the current is changing during switch off and switch on, then there is a there is an induced EMF, and because of that there is an induced current. Is it clear? When this current becomes zero, or from zero to something, magnetic field of this changes, some of the magnetic field of primary coil links with the secondary coil. When this magnetic field changes, then magnetic flux also changes, and whenever there is a change of magnetic flux, EMF is induced, we all know. The nature of this EMF will be to oppose the change in the magnetic flux. Is it clear? So how the mutual induction will be defined? Let us write the definition. Let us write the definition of mutual induction. We say that definition. What is the definition of mutual induction? We say the phenomena of production of induced EMF in a coil due to change in current in the neighboring coil is called mutual induction. This is called mutual induction. This is the definition. The phenomena of production of induced EMF in a coil due to change in the current in the neighboring coil is called mutual induction. Why is it called? It is very simple. Because of this, there is an induced EMF in this. So there is a mutual relationship between this. Okay? Now, at any instant, the magnetic flux which is passing through the secondary coil, that causes, if that magnetic flux changes, that causes the induced EMF or the induced current. So at any instant, the magnetic flux which is passing through the secondary coil, the magnetic flux which is passing through secondary coil, at any instant the magnetic flux passing through the secondary coil is directly proportional to current flowing in the primary coil at that instant. Okay, magnetic flux is actually due to the current in the primary coil. So whatever the magnetic flux changes, it is due to change in the current in the primary coil. At any point of time, if you want to know, if we have to know if the magnetic flux linked with the secondary depends upon what? The answer is very simple. The magnetic flux of secondary depends upon current in the primary at that very point of time. Basically, we have to write here phi B is directly proportional to I. What is I? I is current flowing in the primary coil. Phi B is what? It is the magnetic flux linked with the secondary coil. And I is what? Current in the primary. When we remove this proportionality sign, then we must introduce a constant, and here that constant is capital M. Phi B is equal to Mi, where, let me write here, where capital M is called coefficient of mutual induction or mutual inductance. Later on we'll try to know if for two different coils this mutual inductance depends upon what factor. But here this proportionality constant is called coefficient of mutual induction or mutual inductance. It is constant for a pair of coil. What do I mean by that? Suppose if this cell is applied over here, and key is over there, then also this M remains the same. I mean to say that when primary and secondary are interchanged, then also the coefficient of mutual inductance does not change. It simply means that for a pair of coil, the coefficient of mutual induction remains constant. For a pair of coil, the coefficient of mutual induction remains constant. Okay? Now let us move ahead. Let us try to understand what will be the EMF introduced in the secondary coil. Let me remove all this definition. Due to some urgent work, I could not prepare the notes of this part, so it will be uploaded. Part 3 I have prepared today, so it will be updated. Okay, in very few minutes after the completion of video, but notes of part 4 will be uploaded tomorrow. This is part 4 basically. Now, the induced EMF in the secondary coil is given by E is equal to minus d phi b by dt. This is the formula. And what is the value of phi b? Just we have calculated. It was equal to m into I. So let us put it over there. It will be E is equal to minus d by dt of mi. M will be out of the differentiation because it is constant. We are going to have m d by dt of I. Basically EMF will be minus m di by dt. Okay? EMF will be calculated in the secondary coil. What will be the EMF? Will be calculated from this formula. Clearly from here, E, that EMF, depends upon di by dt and that too with negative sign. It simply means that EMF induced in the secondary coil is directly proportional to the negative rate of change of current. Why there is a negative sign? Negative sign signifies that the EMF induced in the secondary coil will be in such a way that it opposes the rate of change of current. Change of current. Is it clear? That is why there is a negative sign. Now from here we will try to define coefficient of mutual inductance. Okay, let me remove all this. Coefficient of mutual inductance, let us define. What is coefficient of mutual inductance? Okay. Definition of capital M. From that formula we can write, what we can write? We can write E is equal to minus m di by dt. If we consider only magnitude, magnitude only. Then what will happen? We can write E is equal to m di by dt. Correct? Now just see from here, if we calculate the value of m, it comes out to be E upon di by dt. Okay? Now if di by dt is taken as 1 ampere per second, then m will be equal to what? E. From here, the definition of mutual inductance for a pair of coil can be defined. How can be defined? Listen to me carefully. It will be defined as mutual inductance of a pair of coil is defined as the induced EMF in the secondary coil when the rate of change of current through the primary coil is unity. Once again, let me come into the frame. Mutual inductance of a pair of coils may be defined as induced EMF where in the secondary coil when the rate of change of current in the primary coil is unity. So we should write, hence mutual inductance of a pair of coil, mutual inductance of a pair of coil is defined as the induced EMF in the secondary coil when the rate of change of current in the primary coil is unity. Okay? Mutual inductance of a pair of coil is defined as pair of coils should be a pair of coils. Pair of coils is defined as the induced EMF in the secondary coil when the rate of change of primary coil, rate of change of current in the primary coil is unity. This is the definition. This is the definition, right? Okay. This is the definition of what? M. M is what? Coefficient of mutual induction. Okay. Now let us discuss about its unit. What are the units of coefficient of mutual induction? So if you remember that coefficient of mutual induction has the same unit as the self-inductance was having. And now you have to remember, you have to memorize, you have to recall what is the unit of self-induction. We have discussed in the last video lecture what is the unit of self-induction, coefficient of self-induction denoted by capital L. The unit is Henry. Here also the unit comes out to be Henry. Okay. Now we are talking about unit of M. Unit of M. Okay. Now just see. M comes out to be just we have written E upon di by dt. If di by dt is equal to 1 ampere per second, if E comes out to be 1 volt, then M will be equal to what? 1 volt second per ampere, or the same thing is called 1 Henry, denoted by capital H. So in which condition the M comes out to be 1 Henry? When the E was 1 volt, when the di by dt is 1 ampere per second. So how that 1 Henry can be defined? In terms of mutual inductance. Already we have given the definition of 1 Henry in terms of self-induction, but let us define this coefficient of mutual, let us define the 1 Henry in terms of coefficient of mutual inductance, right? So what is the definition of 1 Henry? Definition of 1 Henry, and here we are doing in terms of mutual induction. In terms of mutual induction. Okay. Now, how will we define? What we'll say? We'll say that the coefficient of mutual inductance of two pair of coils, of one pair of coils, is said to be 1 Henry if an induced EMF of 1 volt is set up in the secondary coil when the rate of change of current through the primary coil or in the primary coil is unity. Okay, let us write it. I'll read it again. We'll say that the coefficient of mutual induction of a pair of coils is said to be 1 Henry if an EMF of 1 volt is induced in the secondary coil when the rate of change of current in the primary coil is unity. Right? Too long to make this definition, right? From here only I have written. So just what I am speaking from here, just match the definition from there. The mutual inductance of a pair of coil is said to be 1 Henry. Is it too fast? The mutual inductance or the coefficient of mutual induction of a pair of coil is said to be 1 Henry if an induced EMF of 1 volt is set up in the secondary coil when the rate of change of current in the primary coil is unity. Just that's it. Okay? So from here you can make this definition out. But if you try to mug up this definition only, memorize this definition without learning this, so learning can be a good method, but it will not help you in physics. Okay, basically in this chapter. So many rules are there to find out the direction. So many things are there. You cannot memorize the things. If somehow you will be memorizing it, then what will happen during the examination? You will be forgetting everything. All the things will be mixed up. Is it clear? So let us move ahead now. We have defined 1 Henry and one more thing. In the last video lecture, probably I forgot. Just I got a recall. You have to calculate dimensional formula of self-induction and mutual induction. It should be there in your notes. Calculate it by yourself. I'm not going to help you. It is there in the class 11th. You have done it. Okay. So just calculate the dimensional formula of self-induction and mutual induction. Okay. This is a homework for you. If you're not able to calculate, let me know. I'll tell you. But try to calculate it by yourself. Okay. Now let us move ahead. Let us try to find out mutual inductance between of two solenoids, more specifically two coaxial solenoids. So let us have the last topic of the day, and the diagram, let me draw it. If it will not be okay, then I make it again without wasting your time. Just suppose two solenoids are there of equal length. One solenoid is this, let the current flowing through the solenoid is I1. Okay, I1, sorry, I1. And the other solenoid is there, let me remove all this. Okay, the other solenoid is there, which is of the same length, but something is special about it. And what is that thing? It is inside the first. It is inside the first solenoid, right? Wires are not joined over here, right? Wires are not joined over here. It is just made like this. Okay. So this is how the two solenoids are there. Let this solenoid be 1. Let this solenoid be 2. And the current flowing in this is I2. Okay. Length of both the solenoids is equal. I am doing it for the sake of convenience. Okay. Number of turns in first coil. What is the heading of this topic? Heading is mutual inductance of two coaxial solenoids. Okay, this is the heading. So, number of turns in the first solenoid is N1. Number of turns in the second solenoid is N2. It is about the total number of turns, right? Length of both solenoids, is smaller. Okay. So, one more thing, cross section area. What will be the cross section area? Say this is your common axis. What will be the cross section area? Just say cross section of first solenoid is A1. Cross section of second solenoid is A2. And it is actually the cross section area, right? Cross section area. Okay? Now, let us consider the first as our primary and the second as our secondary. The first solenoid is our primary coil or primary solenoid, and the second one will be a secondary solenoid. When I say the first one is our primary, what do I actually mean? I will consider the change of magnetic flux. Listen to me carefully. I will consider the change of magnetic flux of the first coil linked with the second coil. Okay? Because that very flux which is linking with the second one will produce EMF if it is changed. Okay? So just try to imagine. I don't want to draw so many lines. You have to imagine or let me draw. Suppose this solenoid, first one is our red one. Magnetic field of this solenoid will be passing over from here also. But this magnetic field line does not link with the secondary coil. The magnetic field which is passing through the second coil, that very one magnetic flux will be linking. So let us try to have one more concept, and that is common area. And common area is obviously A2. Common area is obviously A2, the inner one. Okay? Now just see. Magnetic flux linked with the secondary coil is given by magnetic flux with link with the secondary coil is given by phi b 2 due to 1, okay, is equal to magnetic field will be of 1, area of cross section will be of 2, then only we can calculate what is the magnetic flux passing through that area, and cos theta will be 1. But if we calculate only for A2, then what will happen? It will be only due to one turn, it will be magnetic flux of one turn only, and we have to calculate for whole of the solenoid. So it will be multiplied with number of turns in the secondary coil, that is your N2. Okay, now let us put the value of B1. B1 will be mu naught N1, magnetic field due to a solenoid. What is the formula? Formula is B is equal to mu naught Ni. What is that N? What is mu naught permeability? What is that N? N is number of turns per unit length, I is the current. So what is the magnetic field of first one? It will be mu naught N1 upon L. N1 total number of turns, L length, number of turns upon length, number of turns per unit length. Multiply by I1. This is the value of B1 only. Now A2 N2. Now let us have all these things together. We will have phi B21 is equal to mu naught N1 N2 A2 I1 upon L. Okay. Also phi B is also given as M due to 2, M of 1 due to 2, M of 2 due to 1. M to 1 it is written M of 2 due to 1 into current in the primary coil. And this phi B21 was equal to this also. Let us equate the mu naught N1, N2, A2, I1 upon L. I1 and I1 will be cancelled out, and we are going to have M21 is equal to mu naught N1, N2, A2 upon L. Okay. Now suppose this is the, don't suppose here. This is the formula for coefficient of mutual inductance, and as you can see from the formula, it depends upon product of number of turns, it depends upon common area, and it is inversely proportional to the length. Now suppose, if first is your secondary coil and second one is your primary coil, then what will happen? Here you would have written 1, 2, here you would have written B2, here it was A1, here it could be A2. But for B2 you will be writing mu naught N2 I2 upon L, and when you solve it you will be getting the same. What I am saying that for a pair of coil, this mutual coefficient of mutual induction or mutual inductance is equal. For a pair of coil, the coefficient of mutual induction or mutual inductance is equal. whether we are calculating the mutual inductance of second coil with respect to first one, or whether we are calculating mutual inductance of first coil with respect to the second one. In both the cases, it will be equal. M12 is equal to M21. Okay, M12 is equal to M21. Is it clear? Okay. And from here, what are the important conclusions? What are the very important conclusions from here? Let us see. Let me remove this diagram. Let me remove these variables also. You can make your own notes also, and the best notes are which you made by yourself while learning. Okay, from PDF you are writing, that is okay, but believe me, the best notes are the ones which you prepare by yourself while learning. Whether you are learning from a video, whether you are learning from a book, if you are preparing notes, it will be the best. From the formula we can say M21 is equal to M12, let us say it M only. Now M depends upon N1 and 2. M depends upon A is your common area. Okay, or area basically. Area, let it be area. And M is proportional to what? 1 by L, or we can say M is inversely proportional to the length. So from here, these factors are there which decides the mutual inductance of two coils. One more factor is there which is not there, and that factor is, suppose this is 1, this is 2, this is 3. The fourth factor is relative orientation. Relative orientation of solenoids. It is not visible there because in that case both the solenoids are overlapping each other. But suppose if one of the solenoids is kept like this and another is kept like this, then in this case M is approximately equal to 0. Okay, because magnetic field of this will not link with this. But if the coils are wound over each other, this is first coil and second coil is also wound over here only. So in this case, M comes out to be maximum. Okay, so this is what the mutual inductance is all about. Okay, this was the last topic for the day. Tomorrow we'll learn how to combine inductors in series and parallel. It is not there clearly in the NCERT, okay, but in the NCERT one question is there which is related to the combination. So we'll do that whole derivation, okay. In that question also derivation has been asked. Is it clear? So we'll learn that derivation tomorrow, means in the next video lecture. For the day, this is the all. Okay, so thank you.